Bulletcast for life.
Get up, this is a revolution. This is our time to rise. Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I am a 24-year-old piece of gold, the messiah of the microphone, and the greatest sports recreational podcast in the world today. Yeah, how's it going, guys? You know, it's been a while. It's been about a week, or if you listen to my Team Unrated reunion podcast earlier this week or last week, whichever one. Yeah, that's the last time I talked to you guys. But you know I never do this alone. He's my tag team partner, the Jim to my J, the Tully to my R, the Stevie Ray to my Booker T. Ladies and gentlemen, host of the award-winning Under the Radar, host and creator of Curveballs and Chair Shots, the Canadian Destroyer, 8-time Bulletcast champion, BT, Brandon Tanguma. It's Thursday. We got wrestling to talk about. How you doing, man?
Phillip, I'm doing just fine. It's a scorcher out here in the Bay Area. I think this is like the first really hot day we've had in a while. But besides that, I'm all quarantined up in my house, ready for a Call of Duty Warzone gauntlet. It's going down August 22nd. If you'd like to witness this gauntlet, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/curveballschairshots.
Really? Wow! Oh my God! August 22nd. That's TakeOver, right? Yeah.
It is. Big day in 2 weeks.
Yes, that's TakeOver, and it's also an episode of AEW Dynamite. Wow, oh my God. Brandon, did you hear the tag team or the Team Unrated podcast? Did you hear that?
Phillip, of course I listened to it.
Oh my God, what was your best part, man? What was your favorite part, man?
My favorite part was you guys talking to each other about your memories, about wrestling each other in the houses that you guys would commandeer.
I mean, it was really only one house. It was my house. But yeah, man.
I definitely knew that. I just didn't word it properly. I'm sorry.
I mean, it was fun, hanging out with my boy Damon. We're just waiting to go into the Wrestling Living Room Hall of Fame, 3-time Tag Team Living Room Champions. It was great. We had a blast. Yes, go check that out in our archives, ladies and gentlemen. But we have to start off with some very sad news. Kamala, the Ugandan giant, he passed away a few days ago last week at the age of 70. He died from complications due to diabetes and COVID-19. Yeah, man, I didn't really know much about Kamala, to be honest with you. I've seen pictures, I've heard about the matches with Taker and Hogan, and the only time I really saw Kamala was when Randy was in the prime of the Legend Killer gimmick back in the day, and Kamala made an appearance on SmackDown and had a match with Randy. Yeah, man. I mean, it's really unfortunate. I mean, you look at all the territories that he went to. It was Continental Wrestling Association, Great Lakes Wrestling Association, the NWA Mississippi, NWA Tri-State. Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked him the 144 out of 500 best wrestlers in 2003. Southern Championship Wrestling, he was the NWA Southern Heavyweight Champion. One time, Southeastern Extreme Wrestling, he held that hardcore title once. He's in the Texas Hall of Fame class of 2012. United States Wrestling Association, he was that champion 4 times. I mean, he had a pretty lengthy career. I mean, he debuts in, 1978? And he retired in 2010, so that's quite a while. I mean, Brandon, do you have any thoughts or memories of Kamala?
I don't really have any specific memories of Kamala, but he definitely is one of those kind of legendary gimmicks that we all kind of know. And I mean, let's be honest, the gimmick itself, not the best gimmick in the world, and it's kind of racist. Let's just say it. But Kamala, it is something that he was asked to play a part. He played it well. It got over. He's not one of those legendary attractions like Bruiser Brody or Andre the Giant, but he definitely made his way around the circuit, as you so eloquently stated. And he got the job done. He made a nice career out of it. I have been keeping up with him day to day, but I did know that he was in some serious health concerns. I believe he lost a leg a few years ago because of the Yes, he lost 2 legs because of his diabetes. So, I mean, I know his health was not in the best way, and pair that with apparently a COVID diagnosis, which I didn't know about. I thought this was just kind of strictly his diabetes health concern. So it definitely sucks.
Yeah, I mean, when he first broke in, he was Sugar Bear James Harris, and he was managed by Percy Pringle, who would go on to become Paul Bearer. Wow, that was his first manager. That's awesome, man. I mean, there was a little mini documentary that about Kamala. It came out in 2014. It's like 10, 15 minutes. I highly advise you guys to watch it. You know, he talks about how Jerry the King Lawler comes up with his gimmick, and he was actually one of the first guys to slam Andre. I know you think it's Hogan at WrestleMania 3, but let me tell you something, brother, it's not. You know, I think he slammed him in 82 or 1980, one of the two. Yeah, that's before, Andre's body really just started breaking down. But yeah, I mean, he had a pretty lengthy career. In 1981, he traveled all over Europe and had a couple stints in Germany and the United Kingdom. So he was around, man. He won the vacant WWA World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, so he did a lot, man. Battled in Wembley Stadium. R.I.P. to Kamala, man. One of the more eccentric characters in the wrestling business, and you said it was racist. We can't lie there, but R.I.P. Kamala, you will be dearly missed. R.I.P. James Harris. Oh my God.
And from all accounts, I haven't really heard anyone say a bad thing about Kamala. Seems like a nice, sweet, loving person. So shout out to the good brother. R.I.P.
R.I.P. All right, here we go. Montel Vontavious Porter. He signs a multi-year deal with WWE. So MVP's sticking around, man. I'm happy. He's been the MVP of the quarantine era, guys. I've said it. I really have. And this whole thing he's doing with Lashley and Benjamin. I mean, you look at Black Dynamite in Japan, him and Shelton Benjamin. You look at the Beatdown Clan with him and Lashley in TNA, and now we got the Hurt Business with all three of them together in WWE. It all comes full circle. I'm incredibly happy for MVP. I think this is going to be the run that we look at. We're like, damn, he was really good. You know what I mean? That last great run. And guys that are in their 40s now, that's what they're having. I mean, you look at what Jericho's doing. Christopher Daniels is 50, and he's still having a pretty good run whenever he's in the ring. And you look at Dustin Rhodes, guys that are in their 40s, in their early 50s, they're carving out a new legacy for themselves. And I'm incredibly happy for Montel Vontavious Porter.
Yeah, a few months ago when he first came in, we were like, oh, okay, he just wanted to come in, have a match just so his son could watch him wrestle in WWE. And then COVID happened, and he's just been relied on mainly because he was a producer and he was just a body backstage they can use. And now he's a weekly fixture, and he's almost kind of a featured talent, for better or for worse. I wish that WWE wasn't relying so much on the older wrestlers. I mean, just his faction in general. You got MVP, Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin all in their 40s, and I feel as though you could use that TV time to maybe spotlight, maybe a younger faction or a younger group of wrestlers. But MVP has been doing solid work. I'm not going to sit here and say he's blown me away and has been having fantastic matches, but in this pandemic era where there's people that aren't able to show up, people are sitting out, that you can only have a certain number of people that you can pull from. I think he's been doing some good stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I forgot that Benjamin and Lashley are in their 40s. They legit look the same from like 15 years ago. Shelton, he's bald now, but Lashley legit looks the same. It's crazy. Black don't crack, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Unless you do the crack, then it will crack. All right. Fozzy. The Fozzy concerts have been held across the United States. Jericho. He's put these off for quite some time due to the pandemic. They were scheduled for, I think it was like May and June. Then they were like July and August. Yeah, man. So I guess like what happened, like you're gonna lose the deposit on all the buildings or something like that. I don't know, but he has been getting a lot of criticism for these concerts. Not a lot of social distancing, and quite a few people aren't wearing masks. Brandon, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think it's been documented that I'm one of the people that definitely want to err on the side of caution. And I've seen the photo of Chris Jericho on stage with the whatever, the fans in attendance, and you can only see them from behind, so you can't really see if they're wearing masks or not. But it definitely looks like they're not social distancing. And we talk about that maybe these wrestling shows shouldn't be taking place because technically they're not really essential. Sports aren't really essential. You don't need them to live a life. But yet people are saying, oh, it's a good way to escape and, get away from all the COVID stuff. But yeah, the Fozzy thing, it kind of pisses me off just because it's like, really? And, no shot at Fozzy, but it's like, you're going to risk your life and go to a Fozzy concert? Like, come on.
Yeah, man. I mean, I quite enjoyed my Fozzy concert last year, but I don't. It's. I don't know. I don't know, Chris. I don't know. I did see a tweet that this guy said, me and my son aren't scared of a little cold. I'm like, oh no, you're just stupid. You're an idiot.
And it's also one thing if it was just Fozzy. If Chris Jericho was only doing Fozzy and that was the thing he was doing the entire year. But then he's doing AEW as well. So he's also putting, the AEW crew at risk. And they didn't ask for Chris Jericho to go out on tour and do some metal concerts. So he's not only putting like his group of Fozzy people at risk, but he's definitely putting the AEW people at risk because we've seen that, testing might not be 100% accurate. There might be some false negatives, false positives. And it's like, once again, is it really worth the risk to get some COVID from a Fozzy concert?
I don't know. Wear your mask, people. I mean, we've said this on the show for so long. The CDC says if social distancing isn't an option, that mask will save your life. Yes, sir. I guess that's it for Outside of the Ring. Brandon, did you have anything else for Outside of the Ring?
No.
No? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick break and hear from the founder of Cheeklate TV. Hey, what's going on, guys? Phillip here. Look, there are so many channels out there on YouTube that do pranks and challenges and funny videos like That Just Happened TV, Nelk, and Love Live Serve. But why don't you look up Cheeklate TV? Yes, Cheeklate TV. Chikle TV. It is a channel I started with my buddy Vinny a couple years ago, and we've done wrestling finishers in public. He's done eating challenges. We've done pranks to people. It's a whole lot of fun. When you go to YouTube, it is the thumbnail with the guy blowing the bubble. It says Cheeklate TV right in the bubble. And look, just sit down, relax, hop on YouTube, look up Cheeklate TV, and...
Ooh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Crack open a little bit of the bubbly. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Cheeklate TV. Like, share, subscribe. It is the freshest channel on YouTube. And we're back! Yay! Speaking of back, let's talk about a comeback for Inside of the Ring. Tyson Kidd? Yeah, I knew he had to retire. Back in 2015, he took a muscle buster from Samoa Joe, and he could have been paralyzed. He's lucky to still be alive. And a video surfaced of him in the ring, running around, bumping around, training with Natty. So people are speculating. Paige came back, Daniel Bryan came back, Edge came back. Could Tyson Kidd possibly come back? Brandon, what are your thoughts? Do you want to see Tyson Kidd back in WWE?
If Tyson is 100% healthy, there's no risk to his health. If he wants to come back, he can come back. But let's be honest. It's Tyson Kidd. If he comes back, he's not popping ratings. He's not going to be that big of a deal. So is it really worth him coming back to possibly risk injury once again? Now, if he wants to, have some, mess around with Natty and have some, training and wrestle with her, that's fine. But it's like if you go out to WWE and you're wrestling a full-time schedule and he's not going to be wrestling in the main events. He's going to be wrestling maybe where he was on the main event show, main event, which apparently is still a thing I've heard. Or he'll be wrestling like on lower card matches getting squashed or get paired up with the tag team that no one cares about.
I don't know, man. I thoroughly enjoyed Tyson Kidd. His career was cut way too short. He had a lot of stuff to do, man. I enjoyed the tag team with Cesaro. They won the tag titles, and he had a little singles run. There's this triple threat from, I think it's 2014 on SmackDown. It's him, Cesaro, and Ziggler all battling for the IC title. One of the best triple threats I've ever seen. Yeah, man, Tyson, if he can come back and do it, and there's no harm to his health, absolutely, I would love to see him back. But if not, then just rolling around with Natty, that's fine too, as Brandon said. Brandon, Sparky Ballard, All Pro Wrestling Senior Referee, is reffing in NJPW. Tell us about it.
Yes, he is wrestling in New Japan. New Japan's been holding some Los Angeles shows for their American, demographic. They're trying to reach into America. 2020 was supposed to be the year of New Japan really making a push in America, but unfortunately, this little virus caught wind and gained some momentum this year. But yes, Sparky Ballard debuted on New Japan a few days ago, and we got the golden touch out here, and it's just not Phillip who's got the golden touch. Your boy's got the golden touch as well. Sparky Ballard interviewed him a few months back, right when this whole pandemic situation was going down. And now, look at him going on, becoming a New Japan referee. And also, I know Phillip might have interviewed Starboy Charlie once, but I interviewed him recently, and guess what, Phillip? He's a TikTok star now. So I got the golden touch as well. I got Sparky in New Japan, and I got Starboy Charlie to become a TikTok star.
Whoa, hold on. We both got Starboy Charlie to TikTok fame. Okay, hold on now.
But I interviewed him right before he posted that inspirational John Cena thing, which I interviewed him about. So we talked about it on the podcast.
Well, I'm glad he met my friend John Cena. Cena follows me on Twitter. But it's good. I'm happy for Sparky. He's been a staple at All Pro Wrestling, and Starboy Charlie. TikTok fame. That's cool. Something to fall back on. When he's not.
Better get on the Instagram Reels before Trump shuts down TikTok.
Oh yes. When he's not wrestling, that's awesome. I'm happy for these guys. You interviewed Rick Luxury, right? You interviewed him too, right?
Yeah, he's getting the IGP title coming soon.
Absolutely, something's happening to him too. If we interview you, you go on to achieve something, guys. Absolutely. All right, we are going to take another quick break, and we are going to hear from one of the founders of Curveballs and Chair Shots.
What's up, everyone? It's Brandon. If you love sports and wrestling like I do, then check out my other podcast, Curveballs and Chair Shots. Every Friday, me and my illustrious co-host Dominik Hobson talk the biggest news from the MLB, NFL, NBA, and so much more. We also cover some things we don't talk about here on the Bulletcast, including a weekly NXT recap. You can listen to Curveballs and Chair Shots wherever you get your podcast. Just simply search Curveballs and Chair Shots. Now let's get back to the show.
And we're back! Yay! We're back again! Alright, this day in wrestling, WCW New Blood Rising. Booker T defeats Jeff Jarrett to retain the WCW title. SmackDown 2002, the WWF champion or WWE champion, I forget the timeline of when it changed. The Rock defeats Pegasus Kid. He was the Intercontinental Champion, a champion versus, champion match. TNA Hardcore Justice, I think Jeff Jarrett defeats Sting for the TNA title. Lance Cade unfortunately passed away on this day 10 years ago. Wow. Impact Wrestling 2016, Maria Kanellis defeats Allie to become the Knockouts champion. Unfortunately, Jim the Anvil Neidhart passed away on this day in 2018. SmackDown Live 2019. This is Roman versus Buddy Murphy. This is during the Who Done It to Roman angle. And Spike Dudley's 50 years old today. Wow. New Blood Rising 20 years ago. That's amazing, man. You have anything to talk about? From on this day? Do you see it clearly?
I do see it clearly. Shout out Jim Neidhart, the first and I believe only wrestler that I have met that has unfortunately passed away. Lance Cade, I'll be honest, when I read the script, for some reason I thought it said Candice LeRae, so nice to see that she did not pass away. And Spike Dudley, I mean, back in the day, I was a big fan of Spike Dudley. I think he's a dad now, and he's just kind of living a regular life, but I kind of wish Spike would just make a random comeback for no reason.
Yeah, man, he's a No, that's not Spike. It's Scotty Too Hottie, who's the firefighter. Yeah, man. It's nice, man. These guys go off and get regular jobs. It's crazy. Who's Sean Stasiak? He's a chiropractor now. That's great. Crazy, man. That's crazy. Well, yeah. Well, I guess we have to move on to it. It's the fan mail. Yay! Let's see who actually gave a damn to write into us today, huh? Let's see. All right. Jack of all trades. R.I.P. Kamala, the Ugandan giant. It was a pleasure to watch. It was such a bizarre gimmick at the time. Yes, absolutely. All right, what else do we have here? Nigerian Prince, don't know much about Kamala, RIP Big Homie, and I'll leave you guys with this. Kamala, pull through and win for Kamala. Ha! I see what he did there, because Kamala Harris is Joe Biden's running mate, and Kamala's real name was James Harris, so it all works out. You see what he did there, Brandon?
We're not going to get political on the podcast, Phillip.
We're not going to get political on the podcast.
But shout out Kamala Harris, town business.
Yes, absolutely. I did see a sign though, and it said, "I'm a Republican, but I'm not stupid. Biden 2020." Whoever that sign belongs to, I salute you. All right, Hootie Who 420.
Hootie Who.
That TNT title is an upgrade. It's different, and it's okay. With me, mates. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the improved TNT Championship?
It definitely looks better. I think the gold definitely adds something to it. It definitely looks more like a title. It's not just like, a red strap with like some metal that you just kind of cut off from Home Depot or something like that. But I don't know. I think it's just something about like that red strap that like I'm not the biggest fan of. I can't really explain it. I just call me traditional. I wish it was just kind of like a black strap or something like that. Maybe it feels like maybe a little darker red. I don't know. It's just something about the strap that doesn't really tickle my fancy.
Well, the Universal title ruined it because we were so used to that red strap for a number of years. Yeah, man, but it's okay. If it was a darker red, absolutely. I think the TNT though, the big logo, I think that should be a little darker. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, absolutely. All right, so
I don't know if it would be like different or like look worse, but like when I think of TNT, I don't think of like red. I think of like kind of yellowish or something. I don't know if yellow would be better, but
I mean they had the yellow red logo.
I don't know.
For a while. Yeah.
Brother.
All right, Dan. Dominik took those Singapore cane shots like a champ. I actually can't wait for him versus Rollins. Yeah, we are going to talk about that once we get to Monday Night Raw. All right, we're going to go over to the Instagram. We have we have only one person that hits us up on the Instagram. Nobody hits us up on the Twitter. Who used to hit us up on the Twitter, Brandon? I feel like there was somebody.
Yeah, that would be Copenhagen Smith.
Oh, whatever happened to that guy?
I have no idea. I get recommendations to follow him, but he has not tweeted since like November.
Dude, hey, Copenhagen, dude, if you're out there, bro, hit us up, man. We miss you, dude. He was an interesting guy. He used to write in a couple times a week. I miss him. All right, and Bright as the X. R.I.P. Kamala, once again, a piece of my childhood leaves me. Welcome back, Mike Chioda. I don't think I ever popped that hard for seeing a ref. Yeah, dude, I popped. Mike Chioda, he was the longest tenured employee for WWE for the longest time. He got hired before Taker did. He was there for 31 years, man. That's a hell of a run. All right, were all those kendo stick shots on Dominik necessary? I was getting flashbacks of the Sandman beating down Tommy Dreamer in the Singapore Cane match. Yes, they were absolutely necessary for that maximum effect, All right, will this Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole match be NXT's Jump the Shark moment? What? Brandon, you're the NXT guy. Explain.
Do you know what jumping the shark means?
I know what jumping the broom means, but not jumping the shark.
So, jumping the shark, Fonzie jumped a shark, and everyone says that's when the show went downhill. So that's kind of like the terminology for like when a show or something like, reaches too much or does something that just kind of puts it over the edge and just makes it worse. Maybe Raw Underground. Well, I think Raw's been drowning for a little bit, so I don't know if you can say Raw Underground is Raw jumping the shark, but I would not say that NXT is quote unquote jumping the shark with the Pat McAfee Adam Cole angle. I am not the biggest fan of the build. I have not seen NXT yet, so I don't know if they did anything this week, but we talked about it on Curveballs and Chair Shots, so if you want some NXT talk, go and check us out there. But I just don't like how Adam Cole, like the focus of the whole feud is that Adam Cole is short. And yes, he's kind of undersized, but that's not what his gimmick is. He's not a Daniel Bryan. He's not a Rey Mysterio. He's just Adam Cole. Baby. And I mean, Pat McAfee, I love both guys. I love Adam Cole. I love Pat McAfee. I follow them and I, love all the stuff they do. But I just don't know if this is going to work out so well. The match itself, I'm interested to see because Pat does love wrestling. He does, he's a world-class athlete. People will make fun of him because he's a punter, but I mean, he was a very highly regarded recruit for soccer when he was playing high school. So he's not just a fat punter who just goes out there, kicks, and goes puts a dip in it, eats a hot dog. So,
I mean, nobody called him fat. Have you seen those arms looking kind of jacked, my guy?
well, people make fun of him because he's a punter.
I mean, yeah, he just kicked a football. I can do that. You know?
Phillip,
What?
I wouldn't say that.
What?
There's people, I have, shout out my girl Katie Nolan. She did a bit where people were like, "Oh, I could have kicked that field goal. Man, I could have done that in my sleep. That was so easy." And then she brings people on to kick the same exact field goal that they said they could do it, and they look like absolute clowns.
Dude, let me tell you something. I wrestled against some of the highest level talent in my school's wrestling division, okay? I think I can kick a football.
But can you kick it 60 yards, pin it in the corner?
You know what? Probably. We'll have to do a video for it.
Coming to Chicole TV soon.
Oh, yes. Oh, you've been watching, dude? You've been watching?
I did have to check out that burrito challenge. I wanted to see what your boy could do.
So were you impressed?
Was there any lingering effects after the camera shut off?
No, dude. Vinny has a tightened stomach. We once went to Denny's and I watched him devour pancakes, nachos, and hot chocolate. Yeah.
Pancakes and nachos.
And hot chocolate.
Well, pancakes and hot chocolate I can get, but just the nachos thrown in there randomly just kind of throws me off.
Yeah, I've seen him put peanut butter in spaghetti. It's Vinny's he's an interesting fellow.
How's his van?
His what?
Isn't he the one that his car broke down?
No. Vinny doesn't have a car. That was Ulysses.
I forget.
Yeah, we forget. Moving on.
How's his car doing?
Oh, I haven't talked to Ulysses in so long, dude.
Oh, you cut parts? You cut ways with him after that incident?
No. We had a class together after that, and I saw him I saw him like 2019. Yeah, I saw him like in September. Yeah, that's about it.
Do you remember?
I do
September?
remember. I do remember. I remember it all.
When it first started?
Absolutely. All right, is Cody's new moniker, the Prince of Pro Wrestling, a little jab at Balor in NXT? No, I don't think so, man. Cody, after the promo after he wins the Ring of Honor title, he said, he was born a prince into this industry because his dad was one of the kings of the business, one of the kings of the sport. So I don't think that's a jab at Finn Balor at all. Brandon, do you?
No, I don't think it's a jab. I mean, Finn Balor, yeah, he might go by the Prince now in WWE, but I just don't really think that's a gimmick or something that people really go hand in hand. And I wouldn't have any reasoning for why Cody and Finn would have heat or have a reason to poke, to jab at him. And as you said, he's a Prince because he's a son to wrestling royalty, so it makes sense.
Absolutely. Last up, he says, I could never vote against Moxley. He's repping Cincinnati and the greater Cincinnati area. Ladies and gentlemen, I want a better AEW. I want a world champion I can count on. I want Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Later on today, I will be going and handing out flyers and buttons. I'm getting this campaign rolling for MJF here in the Bay Area. Brandon, are you going to be doing the same?
We'll talk about MJF a little bit later. Did not like the segment this week.
Oh, really? All right, well, we'll get into it. All right, that's it for the fan mail. We have to talk about Raw. Seth Rollins and Dominik Mysterio have a contract signing. Dominik has his own music. I would have liked if they recycled the original Rey Mysterio song, the Who's That Jumping Out the Sky? I thought that would have been nice, but anyway.
Who's That Jumping Out the Sky? Dominic, or sorry, he spells Dominic the wrong way.
Who's that?
Who's That Jumping Out the Sky? DOM.
We could just go Mysterio. There you go. I think we could just go Mysterio. There you go. I think that'd be fine. I wonder what his ring gears are going to be. That's going to be interesting. Anyway, so yeah, Seth Rollins talks about you don't want to do this, and Joe's just bantering, baiting Seth Rollins while he's holding the kendo stick. Dominik signs the contract for the match and also signs a WWE contract. So he's the newest WWE superstar. I wonder what kind of reaction he's going to get in front of the WWE Universe.
Yeah, this is a storyline that I would like to see this in front of a crowd because I mean Seth, he said his things and people kind of turned on him, but Dominik isn't that great, and he's kind of getting pushed into the spotlight. Yeah, it's Rey Mysterio's son, and everyone kind of loves Rey, but this definitely would be interesting to see in front of a crowd.
It really would. I can't. I'm interested though. I really am. So, after the contract signing, what is it? Seth defeats Humberto Carrillo. I don't know why he still has a job. And then Murphy and Seth batter Dominik with the Singapore cane. 30 shots in between his chest and his abdomen and his back. The pictures afterwards, they looked absolutely brutal. So this is absolutely personal now. This is even more personal now. I'm excited, man. I really do want to see this.
So yeah, the segment as a whole, I think putting Samoa Joe in there, it definitely hides Dominik's proclivities. I don't even know if that's the right word, but Dominik.
That's a $15 word, bud.
It is a $15 word, but I don't think it made sense to what I was saying. But I think Samoa Joe, going in there and kind of talking on Dominik's behalf, definitely it worked. And then Dominik said a few things. It was all right. The Rollins match, fine. And then the Singapore King stuff. I don't know if that's like him paying dues or something. Like I don't know if that's like some deeper message behind that. If whose idea was it for Dominik to just take a lashing like that? Like. I mean, it's one thing for Cody, who's like the president or the whatever they call it, the higher up in AEW, to take a beating like that. But when it's, someone saying, okay, kid, you never really wrestled before, you can't do anything, so just take these Singapore canes for a good 5 minutes and you're going to get battered and bruised, and it's going to look good, and it's going to have get a cool photo on Instagram.
Yeah, I had to look up proclivity because I've never heard that word before. A tendency to choose or do something regularly.
See, told you. That did not make sense to what I was trying to say.
Hey man. The point of this was, to get sympathy, because he's never wrestled before. That's why they had to beat him up like that. I felt something. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus. Oh, when's this gonna end? That's what I felt. So it worked.
It definitely did put sympathy on Dominik, but I don't know if it like that's something you would do for if it was Rey versus Seth. It kind of makes Rey want to get revenge on Seth because he beat up his kid so much, which is kind of what they've been doing for the past few months. But then it's like Dominik, he's an established wrestler, so we just don't know what he can do in the ring, and will he actually live up and beat Seth Rollins? I have no faith in him, kayfabe wise, and even kind of realistically that the match will be even that good.
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. All right, Randy Orton. He defeats Kevin Owens with a beautiful RKO, and then after that, he talks to Rick. He's like, "You're a whore for the spotlight, just like you always have been." And Rick's like, "Do I love the spotlight? Yes, absolutely, I do." But he's like, "I want you to win your 14th world title at SummerSlam. I want you to break my record. No, not Cena's record, my record." So they're starting to acknowledge, hey, it's not 16, it's 21, 22. I like that. And then, after that, he low blows Rick, and then he punts him in the head, guys. Randy Orton punted a 70-year-old man in the head. This is more heinous than what Batista did ahead of WrestleMania last year to Flair. And then Drew McIntyre comes out there to help Rick, and all the personnel come out there, and, Drew's like, "Randy, I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt you bad." What are your thoughts on this?
I thought all the way around, Orton and Flair, they did a phenomenal job. I thought, the chemistry and just the emotion that they had, Orton burying Rick and, even giving a shot about Reed. It wasn't as distasteful as I thought. Was it Paige, when Paige did it to Charlotte?
What did he say about Reed?
He basically said that I'm the son you wish you had.
Oh, damn. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God, Jesus. Yeah. Keep going.
But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed what Orton said, and then Flair's emotional response, and then, they go back and forth. And we all knew something was going to happen. I heard rumblings that Flair was going to get written off, and they laid down the whatever beforehand that the lights were kind of flickering, and then you turn the lights off when Orton actually punted Flair, so you don't actually have to make Flair take that bump and risk Orton actually kicking him and all that other stuff.
I heard it. He legit kicked him in the head.
Okay, okay. But, McIntyre didn't do too much, but I think he was effective in his role, coming out and staring down Orton. It really gives another reason for Drew to, beat up on Orton, to stand up for the legend that is Ric Flair. Now, apparently, as you said, Batista has beat up Ric Flair, Randy Orton has beat up on Ric Flair, so now it's time for Triple H to beat up on Ric Flair.
Triple H has already beaten up on Ric Flair. You haven't seen Taboo Tuesday 2005?
I mean, recently. They made amends.
Oh, okay, that's true. Look, dude, honestly, like, Randy needs to win the championship. Like, I was kind of contemplating, like, before Raw, like, who's the better heel right now? Is it Seth or is it Randy? After this, I mean, like, Seth, he went to town on Dominik. He did. But, I mean, Randy, I mean, God, man, like, he's so good right now. And if he doesn't win, where does he go? Where does he go?
Edge seemingly, he might be, like, healthy in time for SummerSlam, but he's not going to have a match for SummerSlam. So I definitely could see Edge getting involved in some way to cost Randy the championship, and maybe they go back to that direction so they can have another match.
No, dude, the title match I want to. We need Randy to get the title. Drew can get it back later. It's okay, and I'll eventually I want to get Edge versus Orton for the title. Really blow off the feud, and it's different this time. The title's at stake.
But going back to my point about MVP, should we really be having, late 30s, early 40s guys fighting over championships when there's not a lot of younger guys who have had the spotlight like that?
I mean, this is just for right now until you build somebody up. Like, Drew's win legit came out of nowhere. Like, I watching that Rumble this year, I wasn't thinking he was going to win. I really didn't even have it in my mind who was going to win.
Pretty sure I had a pick that Drew McIntyre was one of my people to win.
I don't know. We'll have to go back in the archives and listen to it. But look, I didn't think it wasn't in my mind. But yeah, man, it's you know what? I don't know, dude. I don't know. When they build new stars, then they can have an opportunity. But not everybody gets a turn, Brandon. Not everyone gets a turn.
I'm not saying everyone gets a turn. I say Drew hold on to it, and then you can have Seth hold it, or Seth have a match for it. And the thing is, it's like the very, very top. It's like Drew, Seth, and Orton, and then it's kind of everyone else.
Isn't that still going back to the well of, like, an already established guy holding the title? Isn't that the same thing as Edge and Orton battling over it?
It is not, because Orton and Edge are more legacy stars than Drew McIntyre, who, yes, he might have been in WWE 10 years ago, but in storyline and kind of in reality, he's in the prime of his career.
I'm talking about, like, Seth holding the title, like, an already
I'm not saying Seth is going to hold the title. I would still continue to chug along with Drew McIntyre.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying Seth takes it off of Drew. Oh, wow, we had a nice little debate there. I like that a lot. I don't know, man, but I want to see Randy beat him. I do. Like, if he doesn't win, where the hell does he go? Edge isn't ready for a couple months. Like, where else can he go? What other legends can he, quote unquote, kill? Who else is here? Mickie James just came back. Get that going. I don't know. Yeah, Mickie James came back. We can just jump right to that real quick. She's back. I'm incredibly happy. Love Mickie James. She's in my top 10. Natty and Lana are forming some kind of alliance. So I guess we're going to get a Natty-Mickie James feud.
I guess it just kind of came out of nowhere. Mickie James showed up. She did an interview, and then Lana and Natty, who were matchy-matchy twinsies, showed up, and Natty just turned heel, so I guess this is kind of a way for Natty to establish herself as a heel. Now, Shayna Baszler apparently turned babyface, so Asuka, does she get the title? Does Shayna Baszler get the title, and Natty can be a heel? I don't know. The women's division right now is just kind of all over the place.
Asuka may get the title because she defeated Bayley on Raw. She has an opportunity at 2 belts Banks, Blueface Banks, Sasha Banks. She has an opportunity at the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam. Sasha better retain. I'm serious, man. I'm serious. Don't play that BS with me, man. Like, Dolph didn't win. It tore my heart up. You know, Sasha, she better pull this one out. She better do it. I'm serious. Serious, fam.
As I said, with Shayna Baszler turning babyface, don't think it's the most effective way to use Shayna. I think she should have stayed heel and just kind of continued on to what she was doing in NXT onto the main roster. But that just would be too easy. So I do think, as of this moment, I'm leaning towards Sasha winning, and then you build towards Shayna and Sasha, because they did plant a little seed last week, and then have a match on like 20 minutes notice and have a crappy finish.
Absolutely. All right. What else happened on Raw? Raw Underground 2, week 2. It happened. Who's the dude with the mohawk dreads? What's his name? Brandon?
Don't know.
I want to say Mateo. I do.
Shout out to Jorge Mateo.
Oh yes, absolutely. Let's just call him Mateo until I can find out what his real name is. Yeah. So he's still beating up people. I like that. Shayna Baszler just beating up chicks. I like that. No, I watched the highlights of this. Were the girls there? The dancing girls, were they still there?
I don't think so. It's week 2 of Raw Underground, and it already kind of feels like an afterthought.
They got rid of the girls?
This was a few days ago. I can't remember. I don't remember them.
I like the music. I enjoyed the girls. It was different. I liked it. It added something. It was like a Fight Club thing inside of like a GTA strip bar or something like that. It happened.
So the entire premise, or the cliffhanger, so to speak, was at the end. MVP Lashley and Shelton Benjamin took over Raw Underground, but I don't think they even did anything on Raw Underground. So what the hell was the point of that ending segment last week?
Honestly, man, I have no idea. I don't know. I'm unaware. Ryback thinks Raw Underground is the worst thing you can do on TV for pro wrestling. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, when we talk about a match pick, we can talk about an effective way to do something similar to Raw Underground, or I guess this would be some, yeah. But anyways, I'm okay with the work shoot fighting, because it's something that has happened dating back to Japan in the 90s, and even we saw it a few months ago in NXT, and I think it can work effectively if built correctly. Having the right environment, having a established set of rules. But with Raw Underground, it was just, look, we're having a fight club at the performance center, and there's like strippers, and there's no ropes. Cool. All right, here it is.
Yeah. I mean, MVP did an interview and he said this is Shane's idea.
So just everyone's throwing Shane under the bus for this one.
I guess.
Love to see it.
I guess so, dude. I mean, I don't know. Raw Under. I mean, where really are they gonna go from here, man? With this is all very, very interesting. As I look at a list of people they say should be in Raw Underground, Brock Lesnar. Wow. I don't think Brock's gonna come and do that. Yeah. What else happened on this? Angelo Dawkins defeats Andrade, then Bianca Belair defeats Zelina.
Yeah, I mean, you have 2 matches that take up like a half hour of TV time. It was okay, I guess. Zelina was pretty adamant that she did not poison, what's his face? Angelo Dawkins and
Ford.
Montez Ford. There we go. For some reason, I kept wanting to say like Montel Vontavious Porter. Very different person. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to come out that she didn't poison him, and this is kind of a way to get the Street Profits in a different direction and like face somebody else. I don't know, but we got poisoning on Raw. Definitely got all the creative ears clicking.
It's happening, man, but it's different, and I'm like, I'm actually intrigued to see like what happened to this guy. Yeah.
Bro, no one's ever got poisoned, so let's do a poisoning angle, bro. They're gonna love it. It's gonna get so over, bro.
Dabba-Kato, that's his name. I knew I was on the O part. Dabba-Kato, that's the big guy's name. I'm sorry. It was bothering me. Yeah,
K, bro?
Nobody got poisoned, bro. He's like the next Sleeping Beauty, bro. Oh, Jesus. There's a VIP lounge, Montel Vontavious Porter, along with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, the Hurt Business. They're conducting business, and it leads to a match, and Shelton Benjamin defeats Apollo Crews. And Lashley's about to put him in the full Nelson, and MVP's like, no. Let him go. I don't want any excuses for SummerSlam when I beat him. Apollo hits MVP with an enziguri, and he walks off with the United States Championship. Yeah.
So after Apollo Crews wins back the U.S. title, then you have him lose to Shelton Benjamin, who is by far the weakest out of the three.
He's the best pure athlete. Hold on now.
The least protected.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, wasn't he just the 24/7 champion?
Exactly.
Oh, God. What have we done to Shelton Benjamin, guys? I want the gold standard back. Like, come on, guys. What are we doing?
Going back to Raw Underground last week, I did like the little callback that when Shelton Benjamin showed up, and I think MVP said something like, oh, he said something about your mama. I did like that was a cheeky little callback.
Oh, yeah, Shelton Benjamin's mama dominated Raw for multiple weeks, or maybe that was a couple months back in the day. Absolutely. Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, AEW Dynamite! We have to talk about the Young Bucks defeating the Dark Order. Brandon, what happened?
Well, the Young Bucks did defeat the Dark Order. It was kind of a PWG style match. This was Tag Team Appreciation Night, so we had a lot of tag team matches on the docket. And Young Bucks end up getting the victory. I mean, the match was fine. Maybe a little bit too spotty for my liking, but that's just kind of what AEW and what the Young Bucks do at this point.
Yes, sir, and that's what happens. All right, the promo that Brandon was talking about earlier, MJF, he's doing another speaking to the people. That's terribly terminology. Anyway, he talks about how John doesn't want to face him because he's not somebody that'll just look up at the lights for him. And then he actually lays down in the ring. It's like, is this better for you, John? And I'm like, okay, that's funny. As he's cutting his promo, and then John's music hits, and he's like, cut him off at the entrance. He's always up there. And then Moxley comes in through the regular entrance, hits him with a paradigm shift. And then he leaves, cuts a little promo, and that's the end of the segment. What are your thoughts?
So I'll say I hated the MJF promo. It was way too meta. It was way too cute. I don't think you should be building up a match about, oh, I'm not going to job for you. Like, what the hell do I care about backstage politics? And, like, in wrestling kayfabe terms, on a television show, you shouldn't be talking about doing the job. You should talk about how I want to beat you because I hate you. I want the championship. I want to make more money and all that other stuff. When he did the promo a few weeks ago, when he cut the promo, maybe some people thought that was too meta, but at least in technical terms, he was just talking about ratings and everything like that. And that was, that's real life things, but you can also put that in a kayfabe term as well. Now, when you're out there laying on your back, staring at the lights, cutting a promo saying that you're not going to do the job, brother, I just don't feel as though that is an effective, smart way to build definitely a main event championship match. And I don't know who the hell okayed this, but they definitely need a talking to because this was just terrible.
I mean, they have creative freedom out there, so, they just go out there and say whatever they want, man.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think they're just telling MJF, go out there and do whatever you want, and then he just happens to lay on his back, do that promo, and they happen to have the crazy coyote cam on him, zooming in and doing all that stuff.
Well, I mean, hey. They speak about the creative freedom there. That's what it is, man. That's what that is. Yeah.
So what did you think of the promo, Phillip?
I was, when he said, when he laid down, I'm like, oh, okay. And then he just kind of stayed there, and I'm like, oh, this is really happening. Oh, this is interesting. I think the best part of the promo was Moxley hitting him with the paradigm shift. Best part of the segment, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah, the MJF stuff I did not like. Now, the Moxley stuff, when he comes out, obviously, when MJF is being so over the top and telling everyone to spread out, you knew Moxley was going to come from behind and get him. But I also did like the promo that Moxley cut. He was very intense. It was a straightforward promo, and it's pretty much what I just said that they should be doing. You thought that after what you did last week, me just doing that to you would be enough. No, I'm going to come at you. I'm going to beat you up, and I'm going to really make you pay for what you did last week. Straightforward and effective. MJF, sometimes I think people think about him a little bit more than I do, but I definitely think this promo was just way too cute.
Yeah, it was too cute. Speaking of cute, that gash on Matt Hardy's head's pretty cute. So Matt Hardy's he's cutting a promo backstage. I think Alex Marvez is interviewing him, and it talks about how he's not cleared yet, and he'll be cleared I think by that Saturday Dynamite or something. So then he sees somebody walking backstage with a leather jacket and a backwards cap. He thinks it's Sammy Guevara's beating him up, and it's a referee. So is he getting fined for that or what?
Maybe if he's going to get the Nia Jax treatment.
Oh yeah, we never talked about that. Nia got suspended. That's terrible. Come back soon, baby girl. Need you. All right, the American Nightmare, the Prince of Pro Wrestling, the champion of America's greatest network, the TNT champion Cody, don't call him Rhodes, defeats Scorpio Sky of SCU. Scorpio Sky got his own theme song now. I'm very happy for him. It was a TNT Championship match. Scorpio Sky kicked the door down, as he said he was going to do in this match, in this opportunity. Mike Chioda, this was his debut, holding up the brand new TNT Championship. Yeah, man, they have a pretty decent match. All in all, Cody gets the win, and then Brody Lee pops up on the screen, says he's coming for Cody, and he says he's taking the new TNT title while you can have the old one, and he's holding the old one up. What are your thoughts on that? All of this.
The match itself, Cody Rhodes and Scorpio Sky, I thought it was all right. I don't know if I'm getting tired of the Cody Rhodes open challenge quite yet. I just feel as though they're just kind of matches for the sake of having matches, and none of them are really spectacular by any sense. I mean, if you're going to compare them by John Cena's matches, I feel as though John Cena had a much more he had a better slate of matches more consistently than what Cody Rhodes has been doing.
Cody was one of those guys in those Cena matches.
There you go. Mike Chioda, good to see him in AEW. Nice to see that he still wants to referee. And I think he definitely adds, a little more gravitas. Yes, it's kind of another WWE name added to the picture. Hopefully they don't just kind of put him in, in the main events and, overtake what Aubrey's doing. Because I think having Aubrey kind of be their person, their referee to do the main events definitely is a good look for them instead of just having the WWE guy come in and just take over. Then Brody Lee doing the challenge for that August 22nd show, which is going to be very interesting to see what they do because it's following an NBA playoff game. So they're going to get a lot of viewers that are going to stick over for those first few minutes. And if they can hold them, this could definitely be something big for AEW later on down the line. And with Brody Lee challenging Cody, two WWE guys, maybe they use that to open up the show to kind of hook some people in. I wouldn't be opposed or even shocked if Brody Lee walks out champion in this match.
I think that would be something nice to do, yeah. And I think this is the match where it's just a completely different feel. I think they could do good business with that. I'm not opposed to any of that at all.
But then on the other hand, if the former or wrestling fans from the NBA who never really seen AEW but they know WWE, you see Cody Rhodes and Brody Lee, you're like, oh, these two guys were like nobodies kind of in WWE, and then they're like champions on this show. So maybe you would do like I forget what all the matches are, but maybe have like the Young Bucks, Kenny, Hangman Page, someone new to kind of introduce the brand to those NBA people if they haven't already checked it out already.
Absolutely, start off with that elite match that's supposed to be taking place. Yeah, you do something like that. I'm in favor of that as well. Speaking of the elite, a couple members of the elite, Adam Page and Kenny Omega defeat the Jurassic Express, consisting of Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, to successfully retain their AEW World Tag Team Championships. Yeah, man.
Yeah, the match itself, I mean, it was fine. Since it was Tag Team Appreciation, they did like these little quick interviews with different tag teams and asked them who their favorite tag team was. And the Kenny Omega Hangman one, I thought that was just phenomenal. I think Kenny has that little 20-second clip. Kenny showed more charisma and character than he has in a lot of the other stuff he's been doing on Dynamite. I thought that was just fantastic. And the back and forth with him and Hangman was like, oh, you picked the Young Bucks as your favorite tag team? I was going to pick us. It was just so cute and wholesome by Hangman.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I was like, oh, that's nice. Yep.
It's just another seed being planted for the breakup that's eventually going to happen. Because Kenny was like, look, we're just two singles guys. We're not really a tag team. And Hangman's trying to be a tag team, but Kenny's kind of distancing. He's social distancing himself from his partner.
Wow. Tag Team Appreciation Night, ladies and gentlemen. You have the Rock and Roll Express. You have Tully and Arn out there. You know, the Young Bucks. You know, they're praising the Rock and Roll Express. FTR, they're praising Tully and Arn. And Tully grabs the mic and he's talking to Arn. He's like, I don't understand this right here. No point at the Nightmare Family thing. And it just leads to a whole bunch of commotion, and one of the Rock and Roll Express jabs Tully in the face, and then Sean Spears comes out there. Nice to see him, and he pulls Tully away, and then FTR, they just start attacking the Rock and Roll Express and hit them with the Goodnight Express, that pile driver. Yeah, man. What are your thoughts on all that?
I do agree with Tully. I do think that this whole segment was kind of self-indulging. I mean, I had a feeling that something was going to happen because just kind of trotting out, you know, all these different tag teams, just kind of patting each other on the back. It was like, oh, okay, this is kind of a waste of time. Something's going to happen. And then we finally get the FTR heel turn that we all thought was coming. So maybe this is going to put into gear FTR and the Young Bucks at maybe All Out. I don't know if that's just too soon, because I feel as though you could tell a really good, long-lasting story, but they went to the turn right now, so it feels as though they got to go to that match sooner rather than later.
Absolutely, man. So are we getting we getting the Rock and Roll Express versus FTR, dude?
Hey, I don't know if that was one of those, you know, shows that they taped 2 weeks of. Rock and Roll Express, you know, they're good brothers. They always got to bring their gear with them because you never know when duty calls.
Yeah, we saw them back in, what was it, October? Oh man, they burned that. They tore the house down. They defeated Contra Unit, dude. It was great.
They were NWA Tag Team Champions in the year of our Lord 2020. Anything can happen.
Yes, they were. They were. I haven't heard the term Year of Our Lord in a very long time. We might have to bring that back on this show. Jesus. All right. Hikaru Shida. Holy Shida. She's the AEW Women's Champion. She defeated Heather Monroe. I've seen Heather Monroe out here at either like a West Coast Pro show. She's done some stuff with Hood Slam, and also she's done Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. It was nice to see her get a spotlight, some time to shine. All in all, the Women's Champion gets the job done.
Yeah, the match was fine. No one got hurt. That's all we can ask for. Now, this is Tag Team Appreciation Night. They have a women's tag team tournament going on. Why was there no women's tag team anything on this show?
Tag Team Appreciation Night is for tag teams we actually care about.
Oh, so you should call it Men's Tag Team Appreciation Night?
No. Just tag teams we actually care about. No gender specific, nothing.
Well, if you're trying to make the women's tag team division something people care about, then maybe you should plug it a little bit more. Maybe you should actually put a match or two on it and not just have it some throwaway, show on YouTube.
Yeah, I heard Nicole Savoy debuted there too. Sacramento native. Shout out to her.
She is with Big Swole, Big and Little Swole.
Yes, absolutely. Nicole Savoy, big fan of the Pop-Tart, as I found out in an interview. All right, Jake Roberts cuts a promo while Lance Archer is terrorizing people, and Jake takes off his shirt, and the message reads, "Everybody dies." So the Murder Hawk is going to kill people. It makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't understand what the point of that was. The audio was kind of hard to hear Jake because the people in the background were making so much noise. So I couldn't really hear and know what he was really talking about. And then the whole point of Lance Archer just like humiliating Jake Roberts by taking his shirt off and having something written on his back, which would suggest that it was written on his back. So Jake knew that was going to happen. And then he's like, "Oh, don't do it, blah, blah, blah." This was just weird, and I did not like this.
Yeah, I don't ever want to talk about this again. All right, the main event was Blood Orange Cassidy going up against my friend Chris Jericho. It was a $7,000 obligation match, and Cassidy, with a very sloppy pinning combination, got the job done and beat Jericho.
Now, last week I did kind of predict that I thought Orange Cassidy was going to win this match. He won. Now, I do think the match was a little bit disappointing. Now, would it have been? I think it would have been a lot better with the crowd involved because we haven't seen Orange Cassidy do that much. But just, I don't know if it was chemistry, if it was Jericho, kind of showing his age a little bit. Maybe Cassidy is to blame as well. But I just thought the match was kind of sloppy at times, and they they just didn't rehearse or just, I don't know, just something didn't click with the match. It's a big win for Cassidy. I don't know what he's going to be doing after this. I love Jericho selling at the end. And also, it did feel kind of rushed because it was like Cassidy gets the win, and then it was like 20 seconds later or whatever, they go, the show is over. So I don't know if they were running long. It was just something about this match that just didn't really click with me.
Same here. It didn't click because my friend Chris Jericho lost. But where does Orange Cassidy go from here? Does he challenge for the TNT title now? Don't know. Where does Jericho go from here? What else is he gonna do? We don't know. We don't know at all. We're gonna have to find out. Superstar Spotlight. Who do we got? Got to give it to Randy Orton punting Ric Flair in the head, just being more sadistic now more than ever. I love that. I love that a lot. And I'm really looking forward to his match with Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
You went with Randy Orton, and I will go with Ric Flair. I think this is maybe the best performance we saw from Ric Flair in a very, very long time. He said in the promo, "I'm just Charlotte's dad," and that's pretty much what he has been for the last few years. But I think this was kind of maybe the last hurrah of the Nature Boy, and I thought it was just a fantastic little promo that he cut when he was talking to Randy.
First time Ric Flair's been a Superstar Spotlight on this show, am I correct?
Maybe.
Woo! Style and profile, Nate. We love you, man. All right, promo pick of the week, Richard Holiday. We had him on In the Click last week. Go check it out. He's losing his mind. The AirPod God cut this promo for Chaotic Wrestling, October 21st, 2019. Very, very, very interesting fellow. He did decent work on the mic. Brandon, what were your thoughts?
Well, Phillip, I definitely did watch this promo, and as you said, he did some decent work on the mic. It was, obviously, I've never really heard of this person before, so it was interesting to check him out and see something different.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You don't watch MLW, man?
What are you talking about? I definitely did watch this.
Okay. What was the key line?
I watched it. It was so long ago that I have such a short-term memory.
I sent this to you yesterday.
A lot happened.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus.
I was watching Dynamite. I had to practice for my gauntlet, which I did get I got a Warzone dub last night. We're not going to talk about what my stats were, but it was a dub regardless.
Well, when you have your gauntlet, are you going to have time to podcast about NXT TakeOver?
Maybe.
Okay, we'll find out. Yeah, look, man, Richard Holiday, he's in the Dynasty along with Alex Hammerstone and Maxwell Jacob Friedman in MLW. He's the Caribbean champion. He's the champion of a whole region. You have to love this guy. Yeah, man. Anyway, what's our match pick of the week, Brandon?
Well, our match pick of the week will be Josh Barnett taking on Minoru Suzuki. We're going to go Bloodsport from last year. And this is completely free on the YouTube, so if you want to go check this out. And I kind of wanted to pick a Bloodsport match because it's just something that Raw Underground could be. Very much enjoy this match. We were supposed to get Josh Barnett taking on Jon Moxley this year, but unfortunately because of this pandemic situation, that did not pan out. But fantastic match. Two legends beating the hell out of each other. Something that Raw Underground should strive to be, but it's definitely not going to happen.
Yes, this happened on April 4th, 2019, and I definitely did watch this.
Well, I definitely did not watch it yesterday when I sent it to you because I watched it pseudo live when it happened last year.
Oh, yes. I definitely watched this. I loved all of it. Everything about this. Absolutely.
What do you think of it ending so quickly, though?
Oh my God, the no finish, the overtime no finish, it was terrible. Oh my God, there was I think there was a sagging head and arm. I can appreciate that because I'm an amateur wrestler. There were submission holds and punches and forearms. It was all great. Loved everything about it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes. All right, follow us on Twitter at Bulletcast, Instagram, The Bulletcast, YouTube channel, The Bulletcast. Email us, bulletcast2 is in the number 2, sweetswet@gmail.com. Every Thursday night, 9 p.m. From, I think, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Spotify, Patreon. We're all over the damn place. Thank you guys so much. Brandon, when is Under the Radar coming back? The people want to know.
When it comes back, it'll be a surprise.
It will be a surprise. And we're going to start covering Impact Wrestling here. It won't be Brandon and myself. I got somebody else that's going to be doing that for us. So exciting news, trying to get more projects going here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Stay clean, stay strong, stay safe, stay quarantined. And remember, diamonds are forever, and so is the microphone messiah.
Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard I fall.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.